Bubblegum Crisis is a weird one. And I thought about not doing it for this feature because it is technically considered as an OVA, and doing a review for an OVA is kind of difficult because it's not necessarily like a series, but at the same time it's not necessarily a movie. Because each of these episodes are about like 45 minutes each, but there's 8 of them. So for me that could actually work because most OVAs that I have seen were only 1 episode long. So for me it definitely suits more of an anime series, it just happens to have longer episodes, so that works perfectly fine for me. Because I was originally going to put in like the Fire Emblem anime, which is an OVA of only 2 episodes, but you know what, I think I might do that some other day. So either way, we're going to talk about Bubblegum Crisis. Now it's mostly action that happens to have a steampunk theme. And if you ask me personally, I'm totally down with that because I love steampunk. I always found it to be such a badass looking style, and this anime was really influenced by the movie Blade Runner, which is a really good movie by the way. So here's the story. It involves a group of mercenaries called the Night Sabers, and they all happen to be hot babes, and they happen to wear powered armor to kick people's asses, and the 4 characters are Scylla, Pris, Lina, and Nene. And since the cops around here are pretty much a joke, they happen to take care of a serious problem caused by a mega corporation that creates robots. And these robots are called boomers, and I find they look a lot like Terminators. And these robots' intention were supposed to help out people and help out with the military. Now because the person at the head of the corporation is a huge asshole, all of the boomers are trying to kill people. Sound familiar at all? Well, either way, it's a damn cool story. And there are some other complicated stuff, but I don't want to get too much into it because this anime is definitely worth seeing. And as serious as this anime can be, it also does have a lot of funny parts. Now of course I wouldn't say it's a full-blown comedy, but it definitely does have some comedic parts. And thinking about it now, this anime has a lot going on. In fact, it's batshit insane. And speaking of batshit insane, take a look at the animation. It's fucking awesome looking. This is most likely one of the most nicest looking animes I've seen that came out around this time. Hell, even when I'm watching it today, it still looks damn good. Although when I first seen this anime, it was actually not too long ago. It was actually about like 2 years ago when I first saw it. And before that, I never even heard of this anime. But in case you're wondering how I found out about it, well, 2 years ago, I was looking around my thrift store and I happened to see this box set sitting there for $8, and I thought, that looks kinda cool, even though the name sounds kinda dumb, but I mean, hey, I'll pick it up. And that was probably one of the best choices I ever made in my life. Well, not really, but you get the idea. Anyways, there's just a lot of detail going on with the animation, and I really like that a lot. Now as for the voice acting, now, this is probably the weakest part of the entire thing. Well, at least for the English anyway. It's not horrible, but it definitely is not anything spectacular. But as for the Japanese though, it's hard to judge the exact quality because I don't speak Japanese, but as far as I can tell, it does sound pretty good, but you know, I could be wrong about that. But it never annoyed me, so therefore, no complaints at all. Now as for the music, yes, I will mention the music in this one, and I have to say, fucking awesome. It has a really cool 80s vibe from it. Well, then again, this anime did come from the 80s, so therefore it actually makes sense. Even if you're watching the English version or the Japanese version, the music with vocals in it are different, but either way you go, they both sound awesome. Now as for the score, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it really took me a while to figure out what I want to give it. Because I did think about giving it a 10 out of 10, and trust me, getting a 10 out of 10 from me is really hard to do. I mean, from all the video game reviews that I have done so far, none of them ever got a 10. Even from the games that I said were one of my favorites of all time, not even those got a 10. Highest was like a 9. But to me, a 10 out of 10 is not like, you know, it's so perfect that like nothing is wrong with it and therefore it's better than everything. No, that's not what I think. I think giving something a 10 out of 10 is like as perfect as it could be with very few flaws, but the flaws have to be like so small. Because let's face it, no matter how good something is, whether it be a movie, a show, or a game, there will be flaws somewhere, whether if they're big or whether if they're small. They're gonna be there. But anyways, Bubblegum Crisis is definitely worth checking out, and it is definitely one of my favorites. So if you haven't seen it, I can officially say, go watch it.